Hello my loves, in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a crochet tassel and how to attach it to your crochet project. Get up on the floor, dancing all night long. Get up on the floor, dancing to the break of dawn. Get up on the floor, dancing to the break of... For the materials needed for this project, we need yarn, which is obvious. I want to tell you guys one thing about the yarn before we move forward to the other materials. I like pulling from the outside when I want to make my tassel, but if I'm crocheting with two balls at once, I like pulling from the inside. However, for tassels you want the strand to be straight, and I have noticed that the strand coming from the outside of the ball is more straight than that coming from inside, which is a bit more wrinkled. We also need a book, any book of your choice. This is what we use to make the tassel. I have different books of different sizes and I use them to make different sizes of tassels. You need a very sharp scissors to cut your yarn. You also need darning needle to thread your tassel to the project. And lastly, we need any hook size of our choice to also thread our tassel to the project. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. To make our tassel, like I said, I like pulling from the outside of the yarn. This might make your yarn a bit messier than when you pull from the inside, but anything to not compromise the beauty of our tassel. I'm using very fine weight yarn, that's why I'm doubling the strand. If your yarn is thick or it's just the weight you want, you don't have to double the strand. I would take this and then take my book, wrap it round my book, and then just hold this tail, making sure it's secured, and keep going round this way. After wrapping it around a bit, I must have secured the tail. You also want to count how many times you're wrapping if you're making more than one tassel, so they are quite even. So I've done this twice. 2, 4. I just keep wrapping. And you keep doing this for however chunky you want your tassel to be. I don't want mine so chunky. This is perfect for me. So I'll cut it off here. And then try to wiggle this out of my book. Now you have this, you want to maintain this oval shape. And just cut it off here. And now you're left with long strands. You want to lay it down like this. I added a bit more to the original tassel I made in this video. I'll just now take off some yarn from the skein. This is about 10 inches long. You just need a bit of yarn, and I would take this under, marking the middle point, eyeballing it, and you want to knot this. To knot, you just twist it, insert, and tie a knot. You also want to knot this for the second time to make sure it's nice and secure. And here we can now bend our tassel this way. You also then take a bit more yarn, like the first one, and lap it underneath this. folded strands, just like this. You want to leave about half an inch from the top to this point, and then knot like we did in the first instance. There you go. You want to also double knot this just to make sure it's safe and secure. You could go again, depends on how secure you want it to be. After knotting it for 2 or 3 times, you just take the excess of it and roll it around to create a more neat and more aesthetically pleasing finish. I'm satisfied with how many times I've wrapped this around. I would just take the excess, use my yarn hook, go underneath all that I've wrapped around and pull it through. There you go. And we are done making our tassel. What's left is to trim it. So I like to just comb through the tassel. So arrange the strand, trim off the obvious excess, and then figure out what the shortest length is. Just make sure you spread it out evenly, as even as possible, and then trim it off. So I want to cut this. I haven't trimmed my first tassel, so I want to take this to making sure it's almost the same length with this. I think I can put them side by side, that would work. And trim the excess off. There you go, guys, we've made our tassels. I'll be attaching them to my current work in progress. It's a mesh sweater. This sweater is actually a pattern I tested for CIO Handmade. That's her name on Instagram. It does not come with the tassel. The pattern does not include the tassel, but I just want to add tassels to mine to give it that dazzle. So I will be adding them to the strand. It's actually the boob strap. To do that, I'll take one of my tassels and I'll thread it through my darning needle. To thread a darning needle, here's what I do. Instead of trying to get these frizzy strands through the eye of the needle, I just come over to some points in the threads, the strands, and I bend them over the needle, have the needle straighten it up, and then I go in like this and just tug it out. Trust me, it's way easier than trying to thread the eyes of the needle with those strands, because that's just hectic. Once I've done this, let me see. Let me cut off the excess because this is too long. Once I've done this, to attach it to this now, I'll just come to the tip or wherever you want to attach, and I will just insert my darning needle through this, then go in between the tassel that I made, securing it, and then through the project again. This is nice and secure. I can just do this a couple more times, see another time, and then now instead of going through here, I will go in through here just to create this tiny loop. Then I would knot it. After doing this, I'm sure my tassel is secure. What I can do is either cut off my yarn here, but I would much rather go in through this with my excess strand. Just pull out my darning needle. Nice and smooth. And if this gives us any new excesses, I would just trim it off again. So there you have it, guys, your nice little crochet tassel made and attached to your project. You could also straighten your tassel if at all your yarn is rumpled or crinkled with a steam iron or a hair stretcher. I don't know if I'll be doing that. For now it looks quite straight to me, but if it does not look up, then I would probably do that. Aside from that, you're pretty much done with your pretty tassel. Thank you once more for watching. If you have any question whatsoever, any comments, any video requests, please drop them in the comment section. I will be more than willing to answer your questions. See you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.
Been a minute since we kicked it, you've been caught up.